We're live. I love it. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for coming back to this channel. Thanks for checking out another one of these videos. I am super grateful that you are here. Hi, my name is Wayne Pelletier, and today I want to share something a little different. On Wednesday, the last live show, I showed an outline, sort of the process, the workflow of the first phase of my process is called the Credibility Playbook. It really helps small businesses dial in web design and improve the credibility online. And that phase 2 is laying out the style board. These things go by a lot of names. I'm going to share mine. When I'm done, if you want this, there's going to be a link in the description after I update it. I usually do that within 15-20 minutes of completing this live recording. There'll be a link to sign up and get this file as a download for free. A lot of ums today. What is going on? Anyway, let me share this with you. What I do after we've onboarded a new client, or in the productized world, we tend to call them customers. But in this instance, phase 2 is really just delivering what I call a style board. There are mood boards, there are style guides, there are stylescapes, there are style boards. That's the word I use. They go by a lot of different names. And this file does a couple of things for the business. It makes it so we can share that we have an understanding of how we plan to implement and use their brand elements. Sometimes small business has almost none, and this is entirely a creative exercise. And other times they have a well thought through and they're disciplined with brand guidelines documentation. And in that instance, this document is pretty easy. Some brands will be like, don't bother. And that's okay. We can have that conversation. But for the most part, subscribers like getting this document because it's free. It's a deliverable. I just give it away. It's not part of the pricing as a line item. It's included in the program for subscribers. And what I like about having a style board is that it makes it so the first creative review exercise we go through isn't website creative, which they may or may not be emotionally invested in. So, and with this document, they may or may not even care, but I care because going through this activity first helps me understand what they're looking for, how to use their brand elements, how to communicate creative design and content with them, and what kind of questions they ask, what they push back on, what they understand and don't understand about sort of our design, web design industry lexicon. It does a lot of heavy lifting. It's almost all meta. But when we get to the website, they've already had a review meeting with me. They've already seen some work. They're already happy with the direction we're going in. And it makes that conversation a lot easier. And it makes it so that an important deliverable isn't the first thing that they're reviewing. And that goes a long way to maintaining a really strong relationship. So it does a few things for me. And like I said, I'm going to share this now. Click on this scene. Excuse me. All right. So this is a really large file. It's wide and it's a high resolution PDF. And this one is real. It was delivered for obviously kitchen and bath remodeling industry business. And this first column all the way over here on the left, I like to put their logo and sort of the font version. In this case, they weren't sure they liked the font on their old previous website. So one of the tasks that came out in the kickoff call was we would really like to change our typography game in a major way, and always happy to accommodate that type of thing. So this was Work Sans effort 1. Typically we'll do 3 or 4 of these versions. The layout is always exactly the same. We'll change the fonts, we'll tweak the colors, change the photography. This is about getting the process started to think about what elements of design work well for this business and their marketing exercise. So I list the font name and the version, which is 01. This was the first Work Sans version, and they loved it. It was a huge hit and it went live. I put down here at the bottom, I'm going to see my mouse. Okay, down here at the bottom, the colors sort of as a swatch, inspired by cereal boxes. If you've ever looked at the inside label of the top flap or box fold on just a cheap box of kids cereal, you can see how the printer has the swatches for the colors put in there. There's a reason that's in there, and I like to put this in here so we can see all of the colors, and it helps add, I like rules of 3, 1, 2, 3 groupings of things. That also pleases me. So there's some copy here, and a lot of this copy is derivative of the kickoff call conversation that we have, where we set the strategy. And I'll take from the transcript of that call and write some copy really quickly as I sort of spray this content into this template, so that we're coming to a common understanding or a shared understanding of what it is we're trying to create, who we're creating it for, and how we want to use each aspect of design, each one of these elements here, from typography, color, and photography. And in this case, I pulled that story through. I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it. And I wanted to pull in some photos and show some different styles here. There's a couple of sneaky things going on here. There is an emoji, the heart. I want to see if they call out that. I want to see how comfortable they are communicating with emoji in marketing. Some brands are steadfast in absolutely not, no way, never going to happen. And others are fine with getting a little cute or human or bringing forward sort of that social media communication style into their marketing and their website, which for a lot of brands makes them feel more comfortable. But also keep in mind the target audience here for a kitchen and bath remodeling industry business is that the buyer is affluent and female and uses Instagram and might use TikTok, hit or miss. So I like pulling forward anything that's going to make them feel a little more comfortable. So the emoji is a test. That's it. We're going to see if they call me out on that. They don't need to like it. They don't need to hate it. Either way, I don't care. What I want is just to see if that triggers anything. And then there's a couple other things going on here where we have dark copy overlaying a lighter block. We have light copy overlaying 2 different colors of the dark blocks from the color palette. And then we have copy overlaying a photo. We have lower contrast copy over a lighter background. And then we have lower contrast white copy over a lighter colored background. Each one of these just a little bit different in a way that helps us establish points of entry for opportunities of feedback. So I'll bring these up on the call to say we're applying some of the styles to this style sheet, this style board that we plan to implement on the website, plain and simple. But also make sure we're comfortable with the leading for body copy, for titles, and make sure the kerning is fine. I don't willy-nilly throw those words around on a client call because they don't really need to know what those things mean if they don't already know. But it does mean that any feedback I get on it to say the copy feels like it's too tight or it's not pacing well, then that tells me what I need to know about how to set this typography. This card here in the middle, lower middle is pulling forward some brands. Some brands they represent and or sell, some they don't. In this case, I like to pull forward a powerhouse in their industry, a big brand that every single one of their customers will know. And in this case, Williams-Sonoma fits that bill. One of their premium vendors logos, that's Sub-Zero Wolf. Another out of industry brand that I think sets the tone for the target that we're going for when it comes to connecting and communicating with this audience. They're probably comfortable with a lot of the marketing with Land Rover. Many of them may own Land Rovers. We are talking about expensive kitchen remodeling here. And another one would be Tiffany & Co., which is another out-of-market brand that hopefully resonates with this target audience. So it's a mix of logos in here. And having this card, right, this section right here, just really in the lower middle, opens up a dialogue as to what they're comfortable with. Some brand leaders can articulate that, but most can't. So they can tell you who their competitors are, but when you ask them for websites or brands that inspire them, they may not always think outside of the box. Some will and some won't. So having this conversation for them to say, oh no, our customers would never buy a Land Rover, or would never, they don't even know who Tiffany & Company is, then I'm wrong. And we need to sort of pivot our target from an inspiration standpoint. We're not going to use or copy anything that those brands do, but they can be directional forces for our inspiration. And then we start to get a little more into the weeds here. You might even say pedantic, talking about the color swatches and getting bullet points in here. And then taking a look at some of the special characters. I like doing this to look at what italics would look like with the typeface that we want to use, and the ampersand and the exclamation point. And you could even argue the question mark character are really important to how comfortable they're going to be with this typeface. I've been surprised by how much feedback I get over the look of the ampersand with a font. And sometimes you're locked in, like, look, that's the brand font, I'm sorry. And other times, well, let's look at other typefaces that might help us when it comes to finding special characters that we feel like help set the tone for the brand. And fortunately, in the light face, this WorkSans typeface is really thorough and well thought through, except for this really heavy dot at the bottom of the exclamation point, which I don't always understand, but it's fine. And then white copy and dark copy over a photo at the end. These photos are different. They're more micro than these two photos here have an entire room and shot with a sort of wide angle lens. These two photos are tighter or straighter, but also they have a color overlay. So really fine, light, thin type set in white over a photo with a gray overlay, or fine copy in a dark color set over a light overlay. Helps me ask a couple of questions about what they're comfortable with when it comes to styling. Because sometimes if we put a light overlay, like in this bottom right corner, we put a light overlay over a photo, what I've found is that we get feedback. Sometimes the photo's desaturated or not bold enough, or they'll say something more along the lines to get to that end. They'll say something, a client might say, the photo is too light, like it looks flat or it's not colorful enough. And then that tells us what we need to know. Make sure there's nobody in here. Or if there is, I say hi. So the same with the top right. I want to make sure that if we use this, and this overlay is going to be this dark brown right here on the color palette in the top left of the 4-block color palette. that's going to be that overlay, so that we're using the brand colors in that way. So this is the style board, I tend to call it now. I used to call it a stylescape. I think people are more familiar with mood board, so moving to the word style board just seemed to make more sense. People seem to understand it more. When I said you were going to get a stylescape, they think landscape, and this isn't at all related to the landscaping industry. So there was a small amount of confusion, like, what is that again? So when I changed to the word style board in the process, when explaining the process, that shift happened, and no one's asked me what a style board is one time. So I think that worked. So anyway, I'll put a link so that you can sign up. You can get this free download. Man, the sun is blowing out the background today. Look at it. Double pane window, and the sun is blasting me out in the room here. So hopefully the background color isn't changing too dramatically behind me, but I guess that doesn't matter much, because what matters is now you know what the style board is, and it does follow that formula exactly across every single deliverable, because it's about having the conversation. I can make the high resolution PDF available for download. I've just put it in their Trello board. A lot of times nobody cares and nobody bothers with it, but what they don't always realize is that I just had a very valuable conversation with them that tells me a lot about how to deliver a better website and have better calls, like design review calls. And that way, when I'm talking about the principles of design in review, we've been through a lot of that stuff already. So it's sort of really doing some heavy lifting, if even not, a high priority deliverable. Some people don't want to bother with it, and that's fine. I'll just make it, pop it into the Trello board, and they can have it. I'm onboarding someone right after this live sesh. I'm onboarding a new subscriber, and they're going to get this whether they like it or not, because it's part of the process, and we go through the process. So anyway, if you have questions about this, leave a comment below. If you want the link, I'll put a link in the description, but I suppose for a period of time, if you leave a comment, I'll post a link to go and download it in the comments as well. So no big deal. Struggle bus. No, let's chat AI. I mentioned a couple. Have I mentioned this? I don't know if I've mentioned this. Oh, whoa, holy cow. Known, or getknown.com, sort of my favorite AI assistant, I guess you would call it, is launching a ton of new updates. It's super exciting because they have some built-in agents that are doing some really cool work. Like say, hey, I'm making a note. Pull up something from my notes that we're going to turn into a thing, and it'll go get it. Like, so cool. So they've included Zapier integration, or launched Zapier integration. And I went into Zapier to build some Zaps to connect it to Trello. Like, oh my gosh, if I could pull in all of my Trello boards, then we could really do some cool work there. In having this thing get known, help me traffic. I don't know. The opportunities are endless. I don't know if I want it to help me traffic, help me write, help me prioritize, help me schedule. It's big undertaking. So I opened it and saw the absolutely monstrous list of things that you can do in Trello via Zapier. And I went, this is going to be a bigger lift, and I'm going to need more time. So this feels like the type of thing that I will bang on a Saturday morning, cup of coffee, chilling, click on something, see what happens, undo, click on something else, see what happens, see what else I can do with it, and go down that rabbit hole. So I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know if that's coming across, but geez, I think there's so much opportunity there for those agents to help my productivity. I just have to think about how. I haven't mapped out a process like inside of Trello. How should things flow from inbox, in progress to done, and what could an intern type of thing help me in that regard? And maybe it can't. Maybe it can't be trusted. Like I said, I think it was in a show last week where I don't think agents are where they need to be yet. And I feel pretty good about that prognostication. But this is a test. This is a test to see. And maybe there's something good in there. And maybe it just is more busy work. And that's the outcome. And I undo the whole thing and forget it. So we'll see. I'm excited about it. I know they have a call coming up. I'll link to their, no one is going to host sort of a live call to a workshop to show people what they've done, how it's launched, and some of the things they're seeing people do with it. Excuse me. I think that is super cool, and I will be on that call I don't care if I have to like melt my face off. I don't even know what that means. Chew your arm off if you're locked up. I don't know. Seems dramatic. I'm struggling on the analogy front today. And I sound a little bubbly. I know it's allergy season, and I complained about that a couple episodes ago. So that's my struggle bus rant. Allergies. Awesome. Perfect. Look, that's what I got. If you want that style board, I have it built in Sketch initially because I can do high-res vector art in there and save out a really great PDF. I'm not an Adobe subscriber, so I don't have it in Illustrator or InDesign or Photoshop. I know I can save it as a Figma file, so maybe we'll do like Figma and Sketch, and then maybe eventually I'll make a Canva document so that it's available there too, though high resolution in there works a little differently because it's not PDF sort of native thing, but I know they're doing print now, so maybe I'm stepping way out of my bounds there. So anyway, listen, thank you. 22 and a half minutes in. I'm so grateful that you watched this, and like and subscribe. If you want updates for more of these and you want to know, hey, oh crap, Wayne's going live, I better click on this email or click on the notification from the YouTube app, then I would be grateful. I would be so grateful. So listen, have a great weekend. I will see you Monday live here, same channel, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern U.S. time. And I thank you